What if in the next 10 minutes you lost your freedom, your voice, and even control over your own home? No warning, no vote, no choice, just one decision. And your entire life changes instantly. This is martial law in the United States, and most people have no idea how fast everything collapses. In the next few minutes, you'll see exactly what happens, step by step, from the first restriction to the moment you realize you're no longer free. Most people imagine martial law as protection, more security, more control during chaos. But reality feels very different. Because martial law doesn't slowly build, it hits all at once. And when it does, your life changes instantly. Imagine this: you wake up. Everything feels normal. Until you check your phone, a message, short, cold, curfew in effect, unauthorized movement prohibited. You look outside, military vehicles, soldiers on the street, watching, waiting, controlling, and in that moment, you feel it. Something isn't right. First thing that disappears, your freedom to move. You step outside just for a minute, just to check, and within seconds, a soldier stops you. No explanation, no discussion, just a command. Go back inside. That's it. No rights, no argument, just control. And this is where it starts getting real. Because once movement is controlled, everything else follows. Next, your rights begin to disappear. Not slowly, not gradually, instantly. No protests, no gatherings, no speaking out. Because under martial law, your voice becomes a risk. And risk is not tolerated. Think about that. Everything you say, everything you post, everything you believe can now be seen as a threat. And when that happens, people don't speak. They stay quiet, not because they agree, but because they're afraid. But here's where it gets worse. Information, the thing you rely on to understand reality, starts to change. News feels controlled, voices disappear, different opinions, gone. And suddenly, you don't know what's real anymore. You scroll your phone, looking for answers, but everything feels filtered, limited, carefully controlled. And slowly, without even realizing it, you stop questioning things, because questioning feels dangerous. Now imagine this. It's night, everything is quiet, too quiet. And then, you hear it, boots. Outside your door, a knock. Sharp, loud, unavoidable. You freeze. Another knock, harder this time. You open the door, and there they are, soldiers. No explanation, no discussion. They walk in. No warrant, no permission, because under martial law, they don't need it. And in that moment, everything changes. Your home is no longer yours. This is where fear takes over. Not loud fear, not panic, but silent fear, the kind that stays in your head. You start thinking differently, acting differently, living differently. You stop saying what you feel. You stop going where you want. You stop trusting people. Because anyone could be watching. Neighbors stop talking. Friends become distant. People disappear from routines, and no one asks why. Because asking questions is risky. But here's the part most people never think about. Martial law is supposed to be temporary. A short-term solution. A response to extreme situations. But history shows something else. Temporary power doesn't always stay temporary. Because once control like this exists, it becomes normal. Systems adapt, people adjust, and slowly, what once felt extreme starts to feel ordinary. And that's where the real danger begins. Not in the beginning, not when the soldiers arrive, but later, when people stop noticing. Imagine weeks have passed. You follow the rules, you stay quiet, you survive, but something feels off. Heavy, restricted, like something invisible is pressing down on you. That feeling is the loss of freedom. Not just physical freedom, mental freedom, the ability to think, speak, and act without fear. And once that's gone, everything changes. You stop asking, what's right, and start asking, what's allowed? You stop expressing and start complying. Not because you want to, but because you have to. And that's why martial law sucks. Not just because of the restrictions, not just because of the military, but because of what it does to people. It doesn't just control your actions, it rewires your behavior, your mindset, your identity. Freedom stops being a guarantee and starts becoming a memory. So the real question isn't, would you survive martial law? It's, how long before you stop feeling free? Because once freedom becomes optional, control becomes normal, and when control becomes normal, going back is not guaranteed. If this made you think, you need to watch what happens next, because losing your rights is just the beginning. The real danger is what comes after. Click on the next video, and I'll see you there.